Adam here from the Walser Automotive Group, and what I want to do today is take you on a test drive. So next to me here, I have a 2025 GMC Acadia. We'll look at the interior, exterior, some of the trim levels, and then go for a spin around, see what it's like out on the road. All right, so now we're behind the wheel of the Acadia, and this is going to be the elevation trim. So you've got your AT4, your Denali, and then the elevation, but you can actually add a few packages into these vehicles, which this one does have. Now this one adds the premium package, which gives you quite a few goodies inside, and then on the exterior, this one also has the blacked out package. So it will provide a little bit more style to just kind of what is the base elevation. Now before we even get going, got my phone here as we always do, and I've got a wireless charging pad down here. That's going to give me wireless Apple CarPlay as well as Android Auto. Now this is a 15-inch display. It's hard to tell on camera, but it's a huge display that does take up the full center console here. There's a ton of really cool stuff in there that we'll touch on that in just a little bit. So let's put it in drive, we'll go for a spin around and touch on some of the awesome features in this Acadia. Now, first things first, it is about -4 out right now, it says. So it is freezing cold, and this vehicle comes standard with a remote start. So if you're in the Midwest like we are, firing it up, it'll actually kick the heated seats on for you and the heated steering wheel. One of my absolute favorite features. It is such a game changer. When it's as cold as it is today, having the heated seats and steering wheel definitely is something you're gonna want. Now this package with the premium package also adds second row heated seats. So if you got the kiddos back there or anyone else in the second row, they are also going to be very happy. Now what powers the GMC Acadia? It's actually a 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, and you can either get the front wheel drive or you can option in the all-wheel drive like we have here today. Obviously in the snow, the cold, the winter time, you're probably going to want to do the all-wheel drive as there's not a huge sacrifice in fuel economy, only maybe a couple of mpg different. Now, the exterior on this one, this is an optional sterling gray color. It looks really good. I think this is one of my favorite color choices, especially with the blacked out package. You get the black 22-inch wheels, matches the mirror caps. This one's got the roof rails that are blacked out as well up above. It does look really good. I'm a big fan of it. I think it's a cool style and design. It just kind of all flows and looks very nice when it's all put together. Now, last year was the big refresh for this model, and 25 only saw a couple little differences. But for the most part, up front, it's gonna have a lot more aggressive design, kind of looking like the Sierra 1500s or any of the Sierra trucks. It's got that C-design headlight. It looks really cool. The LED design for that daytime running light also gives it a pretty aggressive appearance. Now, what else is cool from behind the wheel? This one gets the heads-up display as part of that premium package. So with the heads-up display, it's going to show me my miles per hour, maybe the speed limit that's on that road, and also it can show you some of your safety features. Now, as a third-row SUV, you're going to want to touch on safety. Blind spot monitoring, standard adaptive cruise control, emergency braking. There's a ton of safety built into these vehicles as standard. And what's even cooler now is that you can go through very easily and change or turn some of that stuff off. If you don't like the lane departure system, you can simply just tap the button twice here and that's off. If you're someone who kind of wants more of that old school driving approach, you can certainly just turn those features off, but they are pretty nice to have. There's also a teen driver feature in there. There's a ton of stuff, whether it's cyclists on the road or anything else. I love what GMC is doing, and their OnStar program also comes in these vehicles as an added safety bonus there as well. Now, what about the backup camera? That is crystal clear. It is so easy to see. There's a full 360 view in there, so you can actually click the little button here. You can click the camera mode up in the top right corner, and I mean, I'm going 30 miles an hour and I can see around me. There's a ton of different settings and ways you can adjust to go through all that. It's a pretty cool feature, and if you hit something, you'd probably have to be trying pretty hard because it does work very well. Obviously, like I said, this is a third row SUV, and it's kind of the mid-sized third row. So it's not a gigantic like Suburban or pushing a Yukon around. It still drives like a bigger SUV. It's not like moving around maybe in a little terrain, but it's got a great road presence to it. Like I said, with the backup camera, it's easy to see. Visibility is great in here, and the steering is really light. That was one of the first things I noticed when I hopped in, is just how easy it is to maneuver the vehicle. You know, I got into a little bit of snow this morning. The roads are kind of salty and not in the best condition, but the bite and traction that you get with the all-wheel drive system is great, and it's just an easy to drive vehicle that's nice, quiet, and comfortable when you're on the road. Now let's talk about the third row. So for the kiddos back there, they're gonna have plenty of room. I'm 6'1" and I could actually crawl into the back and be comfortable back there. That's very rare, it seems, that the third row actually gives you a little bit of space. There's also cup holders and a USB-C charging port back there. So if you do get stuck in the third row, the little kids will be fine. But if you're going a shorter distance, I think taller adults could also fit back there. Then in the second row, those seats are very easy to move. There's a little handle that you can kind of pull, slide that seat forward. Like I said, those are heated seats back there. There's a household plug, there's USB-C charging. If you're going on a road trip, this is a great vehicle to do it in because you get a lot of space in the back, and the second row people will be comfortable. Now this one also does get a power liftgate back there, and you do get quite a bit of storage space. If you want, you can fold that 60-40 split, so pick a side to fold down, or there's another storage underneath the floor. So if you want to keep things out of sight, or maybe kind of long-term store something, whether it's jumper cables or maybe a tow strap, you can keep that in the back of the vehicle. Now, speaking of towing, this one is capable of towing 5,000 pounds. So they actually, for $25, added more of the standard trailering assist package. So I think it's things like the cooler on the transmission and a few other little things get added in, but that's gonna be pretty competitive with whether it's the Toyota or the Hyundai or some of the other models. 5,000 pounds will get the boat to the lake, or if you got a small utility trailer, maybe some snowmobiles, that can certainly do that as well. So, what about the driver's seat? Now, I am very comfortable. Like I said, it is miserably cold today. I actually had to turn the heated seats down from the 3rd level to 2 because it was very hot. These seats are really comfortable as well. The driver and the passenger with this premium package do get powered seats with lumbar. So if you're gonna switch off drivers or passenger, you wanna make sure you're both comfortable. I think that premium package might be a nice thing to add in. And again, that heated steering wheel is so great. You've got all of your pertinent information right in front of you on an 11-inch digital gauge cluster as well. And another thing I love is that it's got Google Assistant and Amazon Alexa built in. So I can actually say, Walser, Buick, GMC, and Bloomington. It will pull up the directions immediately, puts it on the main screen here for turn-by-turn, and then also can go into my Apple CarPlay or into the built-in navigation on this side on the 15-inch display. It is way cool. I love that technology in this truck. Now, a few other things from the driver's seat. So you've just got a few other little settings you can go through on the steering wheel here, and you also have paddle shifters. So there's a selectable mode button over here, so you can either lock the all-wheel drive up to a certain mile per hour or change some of the drive modes. Feel like getting a little sporty, putting it in the tow mode. That is also pretty convenient as well, and a nice little feature to have. I like the layout of everything. It's very well designed in here. There's kind of a cool speaker grill or whatever it is up top here, and then the trim that runs through the vehicle. It's kind of this gray-black accenting that goes on the doors. The stitching is really nice in here. The materials are great as well. And I mean, for this being the base trim level, MSRP starts around the high 40s. This one, properly equipped with all of this cool stuff, gets you up to about $54,000 MSRP, and then it goes up from here. If you want the Denali cooled seats, all the other equipment in that one as well, you're gonna go up a little bit higher into the 60s range. But I mean, for 50 grand, if you look at the average new car price at about 49,000, you're getting a ton of really cool equipment out of this. Not only is it a 3rd row, the 15-inch display, you've also got a ton of standard safety feature settings, and I mean, just the luxury and ride and drive of the GMC. Yes, it's obviously very similar to the Chevy, but it just feels a little bit more luxurious in here. This one's also got a little bit different glass, so it is a little bit quieter, and the panoramic sunroof. I mean, that opens up the interior so nicely, especially with the darker interior in here. I think if you're cross shopping, like I said, Toyota, Honda, maybe Chevy, or any of the other kind of smaller 3rd row SUVs, I think the GMC Acadia is definitely one to get out, take for a spin, and see what you think. Now that was just a quick look and drive at the 2025 GMC Acadia. If you have any other questions or you'd like to schedule a test drive, you can visit us online at walser.com or stop by anytime. We'd be more than happy to help. Thanks again for watching.